is a hymn. He called this a hymn, Howard. You know what was this interview? This wasn't like an aging rock star that was trying to, put Vaseline on the camera, smooth over the rough edges. This guy talked about, he talked about the glory days, but he also talked about his faith. He talked about death. And in this song, but also another moving moment, Last Man Standing, when he talked about driving down to say goodbye to the last member of his first band that was dying of cancer. And went there and then wrote Last Man Standing. And I was like, you know what? This guy, this is talking about a clear-eyed view, not only of the glory days, but also his own mortality, man. It was heavy.
Yeah, I felt the same way, that this is a guy who has lived a long life, but he's really learned a lot. And he shared a lot of wisdom. And, that's why, getting back to my original point, I thought this was so important. That's why I'm glad to be on your show this morning, because this means more people will see this interview, hear about the interview. I felt, again, so strongly that there was something to be learned here, inspirational, even for non-musicians. Anybody who's trying to make it in their career. When you see a guy who's so dedicated and so in love with what he does and puts so much energy into his craft, I just felt like, wow, I think all of us, no matter what it is, your career, you could learn from Bruce Springsteen. And he's a pretty dynamic guy and just really wonderful. You can't help but fall in love with him during this interview. And I certainly did. I just thought, wow, what a spectacular human being. And I don't know, again, in my life, if I'll get to sit in a room with him and have this kind of experience. Who knows? We just don't know. But thank goodness for 2.5 hours he sat with me, was patient with me, generous with his time, and really gave me a gift. And I just love this, that this is out there, and we're talking about it on your show, and it'll be on HBO now, and it's on Sirius XM certainly, which is my broadcast home. So it's really a spectacular moment for me, certainly.
We're so lucky, Howard, that you let us sit in with you and listen to it. And people can see it. If they haven't heard it on Sirius, they'll see it this weekend on HBO. I have to say, Howard, I knew this one was a big deal for you because you came out of your house for the first time in 2.5 years.
I do have a psychiatrist. And yesterday's session was all about, how am I going to get out of this nightmare of COVID? Everybody has moved on. You and Joe are in the studio.
Come on out.
Joe is running around with Mika. I mean, there's, Willie, you're out there. Everybody's running around. Al Sharpton's out there. Everybody. And by the way, Al and I go back musically. I've had James Brown in my studio.
He was
the great, legendary James
morning.
Brown. Yeah, many, many years ago. And Reverend Al Sharpton and James Brown were the closest of friends. And we would hang out. And James Brown was fantastic, and Al was fantastic, and we'd have these great conversations. What a great performer, and another guy you could learn from. But yeah, I don't know, Willie.
It's time. Come on.
It's been a long, strange road, man. And, this is the culmination. What were we talking about? I don't even remember.
We were talking about you leaving the house. But, yes, this interview was the culmination.
Yeah, So here, wait, I'll go to you guys for some wisdom now.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't want to get COVID. Have you guys had COVID? Have you had it?
Yes.
Yes.
I just got it.
Okay. So I don't want to get it. My mother's 95. She got it. She got long-term COVID. It's it's like rolling the dice. So I'm hiding in my home, and that's why I love doing your show. I can hide in my home and do it. So I don't know how to reintegrate back into society. But Bruce said to me on the phone, I really think this would be a better interview if you came in and sat with me in person. So of course my neuroses kicked in. I'm nuts. I'm a germ phobe. I started to, use all my my lube that they put on to protect you from germs, and I'm masking up. But I did. I came in for Bruce, and thank God he told me to come in, because it would not have been the same. Sitting in the room with him was powerful. It was powerful. Sitting there, I'm like, the whole interview, I'm sitting there going, is this, he's playing. I go, is this really happening right now? The two of us are just sitting here and he's playing in my living room. This is insane.
And
so, I don't know. I got to figure, I don't know how you guys got over the whole COVID thing, but I'm still living. You know what I'm like? I'm like one of those soldiers after World War II that was hiding out in the Japanese jungle. The war was over for years and the guys couldn't come out of the jungle. That's me, I'm
it's
nuts.
time now.
What am I going to do?
Get the last booster and come on out. Howard, before we let you go, we got to get you upstairs to feed the cats and everything. But I have to tell you that my wife, Christina, was an intern for you in the summer of 1996. I know you can't see it, but we have a photograph up there right now. It was the summer you were shooting Private Parts. She's an extra in Private Parts. She was on the show. She was hypnotized by the amazing Paul McKenna. Got in a big fight with you on the air, and she became a star on the E! Network when we got back to college. But she loved you, loved working with you and Gary and Fred and Robin and the whole group. So just wanted to share that with you.
Well, one day we have to sit and talk about the accomplishments of Joe and Willie, because Willie, I think you're a great newsreader. You're loose, you're relaxed, and you mix it up with Joe very well. Joe, I'm really fascinated with. He was in politics, became a broadcaster, which is insulting to broadcasters because you're not supposed to be able to do both. You're not supposed to be able to leave broadcasting and then suddenly have your own TV show. So I don't know how that all happened. There's a lot of story there. Maybe we'll sit down in the studio. Joe will bring his guitar, and we'll find out really what makes this dynamic duo tick. And it'll be amazing, right?